Hello, you degenerates. Let's take a look at a watch from Luminox. This one is called the Modern Mariner. It's now discontinued, and I usually try to avoid covering discontinued watches, but I'm making an exception here because it's still readily available and easy to find. This watch harkens back to a time when Luminox was more adventurous with their designs. As you can see, this isn't what you would normally consider a conservative watch. This can be refreshing, as the mainstream catalog of watches can be very repetitive, and for lack of a better term, boring. I'd even go so far as to say that the Modern Mariner is an excellent gateway watch for fans of brands like Invicta. Oftentimes, those people stay solely in the Invicta realm because they prefer the unconventional design language that Invicta provides, and I think the Modern Mariner caters to that preference. This is, of course, all of my own assumptions, and I'll stop rambling and get on with the goddamn review. The Modern Mariner hovers in the ballpark of $800. Personally, I wouldn't go any higher than that. You'll see some stores listing this watch for $1,000 or more, and I guarantee you they have room to move that price down. A lot of these watches are taking up space in their inventory, and they'd be more than happy to discount it if it means getting to a sale. Here are the dimensions. This is by no means your typical dainty little European watch. The fact that it's a big, clunky watch is unavoidable. However, I would say there's a large audience that would consider that a strength, as size and weight are often tied with quality and value. My wrist is 7.75 inches or 19.6 centimeters around, so keep in mind it will look quite large on smaller wrists. You're going to find all of the creature comforts of a typical Swiss watch, such as an automatic Sellita SW220 movement, a sapphire crystal, a unidirectional dive bezel, a steel case and bracelet, a screw-down crown, a screw-down caseback, and a water resistance rating of 200 meters. There are tritium tubes around the indices and hands that provide always-on illumination, and they do work, but unfortunately it's a bitch to try and capture on film, as the glow is very dim compared to regular lume. So you're just gonna have to take my word on the fact that the watch glows all day and night. The bezel is the most notable feature of the Modern Mariner. The embossed numbers, rectangular columns, and spiky edge texturing is a visual and sensory experience. Love it or hate it, the bezel itself has a superior action and is a great representation of Swiss quality. Each of the 60 clicks is deliberate and there is no noticeable backplay. The tritium pip also makes this bezel both for form and function. The dial, unlike the bezel, has a more conservative style to it. I like the execution of the brushed hands, the indices, and hints of polish around the edges. The day-date window blends in very well, and the Luminox shield and text complement the dial without getting in the way. It's actually one of the better looking faces I've experienced, and frankly, I wish Luminox used this dial more often. The crown continues the more aggressive style of the bezel. The pronounced edge texturing does make it very easy to grip, and the threading to screw and unscrew the crown is good. The action is also good, feeling like right around what you'd expect from a Sellita-based watch. Here's a closer look at the caseback. I think screw-down casebacks really complete any watch, and I feel the same here. I would usually think the overtly displayed logo would be tacky, but for whatever reason I like it here. I guess the overall professional look of the brushed edges and embossed text allows for more leniency for a colorful logo. The bracelet has a H-link setup with minimal articulation. It also comes with a standard clasp that we've all seen before. The Modern Mariner has a mixture of brushed and satin finishing throughout the case and bracelet. It looks good and complements the spirit of Luminox, which I'd say is a tool watch brand. Overall, I think this is a solid watch, both literally and figuratively. It's not going to be for everyone, but the people who like large, heavy, more outspoken watches are going to like this one. Personally, I'm a semi-fan of the watch. I like all of the objective qualities and unconventional design language, but I find that the ergonomics aren't ideal. However, that comes with the territory with large and heavy watches, so it's just one of those things you should expect. That's all for now. Stay classy. I sure as hell won't.